The People's Bank of China has announced injecting 799 billion yuan into the financial system through a 7-day reverse repurchase agreement at an interest rate of 1.5%. The central bank stated that these measures aim to maintain adequate and abundant liquidity in the banking system. Reverse repurchase agreements involve the central bank buying securities from commercial banks with an agreement to sell them back in the future. The Bank of Korea has announced that South Korea's economy grew just 0.1% in the third quarter rather. This growth fell short of forecasts of 0.3% to 0.5% and followed a 0.2% contraction in the previous quarter. The bank noted that exports fell by 0.4%, marking the first export decline in 7 quarters, while imports increased by 1.5%. Year on year, the economy expanded 1.5%, missing market expectations of 2% and raising concerns about the Bank of Korea's full-year growth forecast of 2.4%. In the U.S., existing home sales fell 1% in September to an annual rate of 3.84 million units, the lowest level since October 2010. This decline is attributed to higher mortgage rates and home prices. Housing inventory rose 1.5% to 1.39 million units, while the median home price increased by 3% compared to last year. The continued drop in sales suggests a deepening drop in residential investment. The Bank of Canada cut its key benchmark interest rate by 50 basis points to 3.75%, marking its first significant move in over 4 years. This follows 4 consecutive rate cuts since June as the country sees signs of returning to low inflation, with rates dropping to 1.6% in September, below the 2% target. Governor Tiff McCallum noted that Canadians can feel relieved, emphasizing that the long fight against inflation has been successful. He mentioned that this rate decision should help stimulate demand and support stronger economic growth. Oil prices stabilized around 1.1% amid ongoing uncertainty in the Middle East. Brent crude futures rose by 0.6% to $75.42 a barrel. In U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures climbed 0.6% to $71.16. Gold prices slightly rose as the safe have asset remained in demand in the face of ongoing geopolitical risks. Spot gold rose 0.6% to $2,732.39 per ounce, slightly below the record high of $2,758.37. U.S. gold futures gained 0.6% to $2,744.80. World shares had a mixed performance as investors remain cautious over upcoming U.S. elections and rising geopolitical tensions. In the U.S., the S&P 500 was 0.3% higher. The Nasdaq was up 0.6%, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 0.2%. In Europe, Germany's DAX climbed 0.8%, the CAC 40 in Paris also gained 0.8%, and Britain's FTSE 100 also traded 0.8% higher. In Asia, Japan's Nikkei 225 traded 0.1% higher, Seoul's Kospi and Hong Kong's Hang Seng lost 1.3%, while the Shanghai Composite Index shed 0.7%.